obstacles we discuss. Feel the rush, come join us.
Hey, welcome back to another Fan Zone Live. You see, we are guestless so far. Tim, welcome back as always. But yeah, we don't have a guest, and there's a reason for that. Guest is coming. But Tim, what's so special about today?
I don't know. Hold on. I got to stretch here for a second.
I like that. I like that shirt.
So there are a lot of newer arena football fans may not. Who the hell are the Chicago politicians? Well, I think both Scott and I, and many who have talked about the game of arena football, and I hate to say it, whether they want to say it or not, even indoor football, all the different iterations of indoor football would not be able to talk about it, or may not even exist today if it wasn't for what happened 40 years ago today. And today is the 40th anniversary of the first ever arena football test game that occurred in Rockford, Illinois. Rockford Metros versus the Chicago Politicians. First ever game.
It's
first ever time. Yeah, that people were able to see the game of arena football.
And you look at that picture, and it's not the same game. Like, it's wild how much it's changed.
A ton has changed. A ton.
I mean, clearly no walls. That's
no sidelines, huge. Man. Some of the earlier games are just phenomenal.
Well, and when do they? You'll have to. You probably know this better than I do, because because even when they had the walls, there was still an out of bounds that you could step in for a while there.
Yeah. You go back to the earlier days. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. Probably one of the better sources is from longtime executive Tom Goodhines. If you go over to, I think it's Arena Football TV on YouTube, he has a ton of stuff that's there. Mm-hmm. I mean,
they got rid of that, when the wall became out of bounds.
Wow, it slowly did this, and I think it was because of the size of the arenas. You know, today's, like we saw the game last night in Beaumont. That's almost like an old school arena where they would be a lot larger. Same thing in Oregon. Mm-hmm. It'd be the same thing. But I think by the 90s, because that's when Albany came in, the original Albany Firebirds, I think by that time they were actually real walls, right at the out of bounds lines. So
yeah, different game. It is. It's like I said, it's kind of wild. You know, everybody talks about the Iron Man being such, getting rid of the Iron Man change, and adding walls changed quite a bit.
No kidding.
But we do have a short clip from the from ESPN, from Sports Center. You want to play that real quick, Tim?
Yeah, go for it.
It's got all the key ingredients. There's passing, running, and even a pint-sized version of the fridge. Promoters are calling the game Arena.
I cut off a little quick there, but yeah. Not much to see there.
If you want to see the entire thing, it's I think it is available, again, as I said, on Arena Football TV on YouTube. It was the actual story itself that was done to introduce the game. This was practice. This was the stuff that they looked at prior to the game itself. That's why the teams may look slightly different. But again, it's 40 years in the making, without Jim Foster and everybody that was behind him. Even today, if you think about it, if we were able to ask Jerry Kurz, even Jerry Kurz was involved in it back then. Jerry Kurz, Gene Nudo,
Bill Nero.
Yeah, Bob Nero, exactly. Yeah. So there are many people that I'm sure could reminisce. And same thing with Jim Foster. If it wasn't for maxing out his credit cards, there would be no arena/indoor football now. I really am very confident in saying just that.
What's funny is goes back, we reference it all the time. That goes back to Banana Ball. Maxing out their credit cards and having not a dime left to their name before it finally succeeded. I mean, sometimes it just takes that kind of ingenuity and that kind of, just let's put everything we have into this and see what happens.
100%.
So,
But
but anyway,
again,
just
40 years. Freaking 40
yeah.
years.
Who would have guessed 40 years later that
And
we're
the
still
game of
doing this?
the thing of the manila envelope's even older. I think that was done in 82
Yeah.
when he came up with the idea.
I know they at least temporarily had that in the Football Hall of Fame. I don't know if it's currently on display, but
good question.
But if not, we need to get it back in there. But
let's ask Jim. We'll have to get Jim on here. That'll be a 3-hour episode because we know Jim has the stories.
He's a talker.
Oh yeah, he can be.
So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and bring in our guest. Like I said, it's kind of a little bit different pacing for us to not bring right off the top, but we had to get that 40th anniversary thing out. That's huge. 40 years for this game. So it's just come so far. But anyway, like I said, let's bring in our guest, Jacob Lambert, owner of the Monsters. Welcome, Jacob. How you been?
Well, so special. You have me on the 40th anniversary. I mean, my gosh, I feel special.
What do you, I know you haven't been in arena football all that long, Jacob, but I mean, just in the short span of time, I mean, you've met Jerry Kurz, you met everybody behind the scenes too, and everybody who has had a more than a finger within the game of arena football. What have you taken away yourself being an owner of an arena football team? What does the game mean to you, knowing that, you know, the history of it, how long is it, everything has been, what has gone through, what's the game mean to you?
It's well, you look at it and it's the lineage itself. Like you get the Jerry Kurz, the Christy McEwens, the Gary Comptons that I work with day to day. You see it, it's in their blood. I know it's cliche, but it's in their blood, it's in their bones. It means a lot to them because they came back to do this with the AF1 because they believe in it. So as an owner, because I like football, like I've told you guys the first time I was on here, love arena, love football, love everything about it. And if I'm going to invest in that, I want someone to like it as much as me, not just where it's, you don't know who the owner is of the league, which we all know what that's there's leagues like that. You don't know who the owner is, but we know what the owner of this league is. We know who runs the day to day, and it creates more passion. I love the AF1, and just how much they care. So what I know is that if they're going to care that much, I have to care even more, right? Because I have to make a profit on it too, because it's a business. So what I do know, it's just, it gets, the arena game gets in your blood. It's in your bones and you can't get it out, or else, like, keep saying, why would Jerry, Gary, and Christy keep coming back? So that's pretty dang cool. That's what I've learned. This is a lifetime thing. And I love that part. That's the best part.
And the thing about it too, is that we're talking, just heading on, it's talking about the 40th. We wouldn't be talking with you now. There wouldn't have been a version from the TAL. There wouldn't be a version of the Monsters now if it wasn't for what Jim Foster did all those many years ago. So it's as you said, the lineage there's so much history, and I'm sure somebody could write a book. All the people involved could write a book. It would be probably as long as War and Peace.
Yeah, right. No, you're right though. That it would be interesting read, wouldn't it? But I think you guys said having Foster on here, and even Jerry, because Jerry was, correct me if I'm wrong quite a bit, but wasn't Jerry with Foster like through the inception of all this? Like he was his right, like he had the idea, Foster had the idea, and had put all that part in place, but Jerry really didn't. Them two spearhead this whole thing.
Jerry was behind the scenes quite a bit. He stepped in quite a bit, if I remember correctly, when they were trying to make a name for themselves, and they were doing the whole European tour that they did year after year after year after year.
Yeah.
You know, going to Paris, going to Germany, you know, making Jerry has always been behind the scenes. And, you know, he later on, he became commissioner. And then once it was reborn in 2010, after the collapse in 2008. But they've always been around. And I think it's what you said, Jacob, is that if they didn't care, they wouldn't be around now to make it what it is today, to bring in like a Jeff Fisher, you know, to bring in the ownership group
Jeff Jarrett.
to make sure that they vet the vet the owners like it should have been done in the past. It's been done that way now.
Correct. And that's the biggest part. They have to be financially solvent on their own, because the misnomer too is you get a lot of you get certain owners that'll come in and be like, hey, I don't they expect a league to make them money. We have to make money in your market. Okay. So make money in your market, that takes time. Just like your typical business, say 3 to 5 years, towards a 5-year mark, so you start to see a profit kind of deal. Well, your markets aren't any different. They want to see longevity. So you have to come in financially solvent to understand that you're going to lose money, because you have to put money in to create that revenue ROI, return on your investment in your market. That's common knowledge. And with the AF1, they definitely have done that. If you look at the owners that are in the AF1, they're like, you look at Michigan Arsenal. George is a Google exec, for God's sake. I mean, the guy's put the money and he's showing that. A lot of these owners have taken a lot of pride into it. And I firmly believe the AF1, the way they vetted it and done it, just this iteration of it. I don't know the past, but just as far as the iteration that I'm seeing with our ownership calls, they hit it out of the park with this ownership groups. And I'm not saying that to my horn. I'm simply just stating that I care so that I make it work. Where you see these other owners, as far as savvy wise, they're probably, better off than me, as far as I'm just a good old hillbilly that sells manufactured homes in a trucking company. Here I am owning a team, right? So which is good. The AF1 has got that cream of the crop of the ownership group. And I love that fact. I love to be the guy when I go into the room. I'm not the smartest guy. I want to be able to learn from these guys. And I sure as heck do on our ownership calls. These guys know their stuff. And a lot of them have been around too in the old arena days and stuff. So I'm learning a lot too, which is nice.
So what's been the biggest surprise coming into this group? And there's something you learned or just something you just didn't expect?
Honestly, that week 1 against Albany, just me personally, not our team, but that how overmatched I felt. Like when I was sitting in the dugout, I was baseball. So sitting in the bench area, and it was intimidating, like fast, and just that environment. And it was weird. You don't think you're like that until you get in that moment. And yeah, I was a little shell shocked. So it's the fast pace, it's the environment. It's just from the other leagues, we know what they are. In the other leagues, it's faster. It's just more, it's more of a collision course. And that's the interesting. What I learned is how much faster it is, to be honest with you. And it was that week 1 against Albany was definitely a shock to my system. I don't care. I tell anybody that. It makes me look weak. I don't give a shit. It was a shell shock to me going there and having Mike Corda run me through the buzzsaw. So that wasn't fun.
You wouldn't be the.
He told me it was going to happen. So
going to happen to you.
Yes, yeah, you're correct. I know.
But
he told me he was going to do it, and boy, was he right.
Well, and I think, from what it looked like between week 1 and last week, I think it kind of shocked everybody because you guys came out playing a different kind of ball this week.
We did, and here's what being a Big Ten guy, because being a huge Minnesota Gophers guy, and we got Shannon Brooks, obviously, who was 5-year starter for PJ at Minnesota. You notice we run the ball a good amount. So we run the ball. We have two good backs. We run the ball. We use that backfield. The reason we want to do that is you want to have an equal balance of play. So we don't need to run the ball to be successful, but it sure as hell helps. And I also think we have the best quarterback in arena, and Javante Johnson. He's the toughest for sure. Gets hit. You never hear him complain. We just got to get our receivers healthy. That's a big one for us. And, when Javante gets his receivers healthy, you're going to see 5-6 touchdown passes a game. And right now he's being conservative because we don't need turnovers. If you can still move the ball efficiently, that is what Javante will do. He can be a game manager. He can be a game winner. Right now, he's being a game manager because he knows that's what the team needs. He's the heartbeat. He's the guy that makes this thing go around. So he starts forcing the ball down the field and we're turning the ball over, then you got problems, right? So in arena, what do they say? You get 3 to 4 stops a game, you're probably going to win that game. So you can't turn the ball over 3-4 times, forcing it down the field.
Well, and I pulled this shot off of socials earlier today.
I know, right? Look at that. There it is.
I mean,
oh yeah, George didn't like that too much. I had to clean the ice up.
well, it just tells me that you're more involved than some of the other owners. That they sought you out to get you to hit you with a Gatorade bath.
Yeah, I know, right? No, they did. Yeah, they do. And I'm really just close. That was Torrey Boyd, our center, and boy, is he something. He's a tank. Yeah, it was honestly really special. Yeah, just being an owner, they don't owe me that or need to do that. But it sure as hell felt pretty damn good. I mean, because it's expensive to do this, and not that the money's everything, but man, cutting those checks sometimes when you get something like that, it does make a difference. And it's true, man. It was something watching them. They wanted to pour. They had shocked the shit out of me. I'm like, holy man. It got me. It was a long drive back home because I had to ride back to the hotel, and it was cold. But yeah, no, I love being involved with these guys in this team. Like I told you guys before, I handpicked about 80% of the roster of guys that I just went through and believed in. And no, I freaking love it, guys. I go on and on. I'm a cliche. I don't want to.
Yeah, and I know there are certain things you can control and certain things you can't, obviously. And one of them was the schedule. As an owner, what have you been able to go through? I mean, considering that you're going to not be at home until mid-May, your first ever inaugural home games not until mid-May.
Right.
What have you seen when it comes to the team and what the coaching staff has done to make sure that the guys stay together, camaraderie, build relationships, considering that they are basically on the road for the first 5 weeks?
Well, the biggest thing is that when we travel, we do a lot of team dinners. We don't just give you a per diem and say, here, go do this. So we give them a per diem, but always at dinner every night, wherever we're staying at a hotel, we always rent out their conference room. So we get there in the conference room, we sit down, have team meetings, talk about the travel and just talk about just different things that whatever they want to talk about. If they want to hang out in there, they can. I don't give a crap. But then after we do that, we check in, we go and have a team dinner. So we're creating, man, it's the 300 analogy. When Leonidas is out there standing there, it's us against the world kind of thing. And that's just the card we play. And these guys have bonded together. And they love it. Like right now, like I said earlier, I told you guys, they're all bowling right now, and I couldn't make it, but they're all bowling and sending me videos and pictures of them bowling and having a good time. So it's those things. It's making them realize that you're a typical stigma of arena where it's more cutthroat, not necessarily in air quotes a team thing, and everybody's out for themselves. And we just throw that away, right? So we throw it away because if they're going to play more loose, they're going to play happy, they're going to do all those things, they're going to play better, and then they're going to be recognized by a CFL, NFL opportunity. And so we just make them realize that you're here. We're not going to cut you next week or 2 weeks from now if you have a bad game. We're going to ride it out and we're going to do our thing. So we're creating trust. So when you create the trust, it don't matter if you're playing on Pluto. They're playing for everybody that's in there, but that takes time. It starts at the top, matriculates down from the top. So if we're, myself and the coaches, Brianna, my wife, she's always with the team too. And if we do that, lead by example, if we're going to do that, they're going to believe in that. And they're like, well, I'm going to fight for you then. That's where the Gatorade bath came from, because there's a lot of stuff you go through to get to where we're at. And it's, so that's really a big part of being on the road is we're their family now, so that's huge.
So I'm assuming the delay in your first home game is just arena availability, or was there more to it than that?
Yep. Nope. Arena availability was a big one, just because it's a big hockey town. So it's arena availability was a big one. And then also Mike Corda goes, we're putting you on the road. And when Mike tells you what you're going to do, you just say, yes, sir. And you bow your head and you just go right ahead and you start booking your plane tickets. So that's kind of what I did.
Well, that's the thing with Mike. First thing you need to do is look down because he is such a big guy, and then say, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He goes, you know what I'm saying, Jake? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. You just tell me what my schedule is. Yeah. I'm just going to tell you what your schedule is, and you just do your thing. You got it, baby. You got right away.
What was the reaction for your first reaction, Jacob, when you shook his hand? I've shaken his hand. What was your first reaction when you first shook his hand?
It was almost like you're getting anointed in the Italian mafia or something. It's just like, how you doing? How you doing? Shakes my hand and pulls me in close. The power move. Like, God dang, this guy's a big bear.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. But one hell, but it's heart of gold.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the only one that I think probably bigger and probably more intimidating with a handshake was David Baker. The old commissioner.
Oh, Dave Baker, the old commissioner.
Man, that guy was huge. Like, he shook his hand and his hand just swallowed your whole arm. The guy was just like Kingpin, just a monster.
That's kind of my quota.
I think he's got Mike by a little bit, but
Mike, where did Baker? Did he play? I'm guessing he played in arena, right?
No. They brought him in right before the NBC days.
Okay.
And he went through the whole video game era with EA Sports and stuff like that. They getting them on NBC for the couple of years that they were, and
big party neutral site arena bowls. He blew it up.
Yeah.
But
then in 08, 09, sorry, 08, it blew up.
yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it gets back to that. That's my biggest goal.
Do you worry? Obviously, you want to get the wins, and you got your first this week. But do you worry when it comes to what the type of team, what your record's going to be when you do get to your inaugural home game? Because I'm sure there are many things that you and the organization are running through your heads when it comes to, well, what are we going to be? What type of team are we going to be that last week in May?
Well, let me add to this too. Your first two home opponents are the Cats and the Barrels too. So tough challenge at home.
Very freaking hard. It's just a buzzsaw schedule. So the analogy, and I said it, and then last time I'll wear it out here, but I literally told the guys when the schedule came out, they're all upset, which granted, it's not like, at first I was like, holy crap, but it was also the arena availability. And then remember, we have to worry about what everybody else's arena availability is. So even if I could have been home earlier, it just had to jive with whatever else was going on. And I was very flexible. I just, new guy in the league, you're going to get ran through it. Perfect. Don't care. And I took it as a plus. I'm like, okay. So from a business standpoint, you got to make it work. So then I also have watch parties. So we're creating that fan experience while we're on the road. So like we have watch parties, 40, 50 people the last couple games. What that's going to do then is create the interaction with the people. So either we were going to go, say 4-0 and come home, build up that everybody's pumped up. Let's see this 4-0 team coming in. Or if we go 3-1 or go 2-2. So, the sales pitch is if you go 2-2, it's your make or break game. Come see us get over 500. We can finish 8-4 and get the 4 seed, whatever. So there's always a marketing ploy that you can have for it. But that was my biggest thing could go either way. It was either going to be really good or it could be really bad. So if we go in 3-1 to our first home game, we're strongly marketable. And that's the way I looked at it. I played it off that way with the guys. You got to get us 3-1. I originally said 4-0, but
you got to shoot for that no matter what. You got to shoot for that,
right? But you know what? You follow what I'm saying. I think that's the way we looked at it, and I firmly believe that's it's been working for the most part because we're doing commercials with a good Parthay Productions. Right there in Superior, Wisconsin, they're doing commercials. Have another commercial airing with Javante Johnson. He's got 2 we have out running on a loop. Travis Whitlock, our big backup fullback, he did a printer commercial. So all of our sponsors, we do commercials with through a production agency, and it goes aired on. It's a good commercial, all of them. So we're doing the right things so people know who we are, and then they can watch our games, and then first home game, I firmly believe we'll have over 4,000, which some might not seem like a lot, but 4,000 is a good 4,000 to 5,000 people would be a blessing to us for our first home game.
What's the capacity there?
if you open up the top bowl, my understanding, I think it's like 7,500. So if we like that top section up there, and I think the whole bottom bowl, I don't know, I want to say it was like 5,000, the bottom bowl.
4,000.
And if you can fill that,
Yeah, I think 4,000 will look good.
that's what I'm getting at. And if we all, I think it will. And if you get 4,000, that would be, well, also when you're playing the Cats, they're going to travel. Because I'm a huge Kalka guy. And so you guys like Kalka, and you got your Jeff Fisher build up there. Jeff Jarrett now is part owner. I think it's going to be a good clash. We come in 3-1, they're 4-0. I mean, whew, that'll be a good game.
Exactly. Say the Cats got to get past Kentucky this week, though. So
I know that Kentucky's dad. I've told everyone from ownership meetings, I'm like, Kentucky and the coach there in Kentucky. I mean, they're well coached from top down. Kentucky is a dang good team. Don't tell Mike Ward that.
Well, with Coach Walker's pedigree, I'm not surprised. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, same thing with Nashville. Old school arena guys who know the game. But the plus is, though, Jacob, is that I've noticed that a lot of these coaches, and Damon Ware is one of them because he was really more indoor football to start. They're learning the game properly, and I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Is that,
yep.
All you got to do is get on a run, be able to have the coaches be able to get the players that you're allowing them to, and it just goes from there. So
I agree.
By the way,
our best.
I want to talk about your identity.
Yeah.
What's with the ice? I'll call it an ice outlook. I love the helmets, by the way. The helmets.
Ooh, you like that?
At first, I saw the M on one side. I said that's pretty cool. But then I saw the giant, the giant head on the other side.
Yeah.
I only got one nitpick.
Gosh dang it! I'm just kidding.
It's the numbers. To be fair, after seeing Washington this week, it's not as bad. That was brutal. Right? That was brutal.
Were they too light colored, like the numbers?
I would have flipped them. I would have been the blue and then the blue. But then again, it's not as bad as Washington. Washington's teal on gray or something, whatever it was. It was harder to watch.
Well, the idea was good for Washington. That's a good idea, though. It sounds good.
Yeah. But I want to know what's the how did the identity come about, and especially when it comes to designing the uniforms, which I'm sure everybody will be surprised once they get to see the new home threads when you guys have your home game and the new helmet, et cetera, et cetera. But talk about what it was like going through to make sure that the identity of the monsters was something that people are going to remember.
Honestly, that came from my wife. So we were going through and we're taking, looking at renderings and things of that nature. And that's not my bailiwick. I'm a player's guy. Just find me a good quarterback and a running back and offensive line, and let's get to work, So I don't really, my mind isn't creative. I don't go there. So she was just playing around with ideas, and Brianna my wife picked out all the color schemes, the helmet designs, everything. So everything, like our helmet skins, we have metallic blue, white, and then our yellow. So we have 3 helmet colors, 2 along with 3 jerseys. Wow.
Cool.
So you'll get to see the metallic blue. I think that'll be our first home game. So we'll have the metallic blue. It's going to look sick. So that's all her, because she picked all the colors. So the identity was, like I say a lot of stuff, I'm a talker. So I just blurt out a bunch of ideas and what I think is going to look cool or what's appropriate, what my mind is. So I just throw things out there. And a lot of times, I have people like, like Brianna and some of a lot of the players, because they were staying with me this off season, like your Javantes and Couch. And so we were doing all this, like colors. How do we want the new colors? Like the new uniforms, how do we want them to look? We all picked them out. So that she came up with an idea, and Javante and Couch really narrowed it down to decide what we were going to have. So you can thank the quarterback and receiver, and my wife. That's where the identity really came from. Pretty neat, though.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
I have no credit there taken from me. I didn't do any of it. I just signed the check. That's it.
Okay. we know we talked about this before. We know it's been brought up. At least let's just get this out of the way. Then we can get back to our platitudes because we just want to talk about it. Let's talk about the whole lawsuit thing that's popped up recently in the news when it comes to I don't know how to say it. I mean, if people read it, they know there's currently a lawsuit.
There is. Yeah.
I would just say let us know what you can about it, and because we don't want to piss off the lawyers before it gets.
I know and
give
there's
us a Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, well, I'll give you I definitely will. And so, like, there's always two sides of a story. So you're going to get there's three sides to a story. There's theirs, mine, and then the truth. So people that are going to hear my side are going to, what I believe to be the case is that there was no contracts were given to anybody. I was literally sponsor, and I did nothing of malintent. I simply have a football team that plays in a higher league, that plays more games and plays on TV. It's called bettering the product, bettering my players' lives. And there are certain things and people that just have different views on what they believe was the truth, I guess, and what had happened. But documents don't lie. People do lie. Documents don't lie. Checkbooks don't lie. All the things and that's why you haven't seen me publicly say anything. I don't take any podcasts. I don't take any shows other than your guys's. I don't do any of that stuff only because I don't want what I say to be misconstrued. I don't want it to be. So that's why I just want to have one narrative, which is going through you guys. I didn't do any, there's no malintent on my part. I did nothing to want to harm the other league. That was not my intention, because I want these players, like I told you guys before, I want these players to have a place to play. And right now what they're doing is they're just creating some issues, not on my end, definitely on their end. But yes, there's definitely lawsuits with both parties going on, so it'll get figured out. It always does. There's not going to be an immediate resolution, is my understanding. 3 to 5 year deal. I don't know. Who knows how long? It's court. You never know. I'm not worried. And I relayed that to my players and coaches and staff. I mean, I just had appointments earlier today, and yeah, it's just unfortunate that people have to stoop to this level. But yeah, it's nothing to worry about. I'm not worried about it. It's a nuisance, obviously. But there's going to be a lot more to come out here in the next couple of days. I just don't want to. I want to let that person continuously do what they got to do to try and make it look like I'm doing something malicious. I used to be a guy that would lash out. I used to be a guy that would react to certain situations like this. But I've learned in the last 4 or 5 years that got me nowhere. And so you just go ahead and keep digging your hole, keep doing what you got to do. And I'm just going to keep doing what I can do and keep winning football games. And I know that's a cliche answer, but man, that's the best I can give you. It's going to get resolved, and there's going to be more coming out here in the next 2 weeks.
Has Duluth media picked it up, or has it really been nothing?
It's been bad. Yeah. So, they, Duluth, it would have been, what the heck was it? Yeah. So they ran the article. Probably about 3 hours ago. An article they wrote up, which is pretty vague. I mean, just stating that there's a lawsuit, which is public knowledge, so it's okay. But then my lawyers had wrote a statement in regards to that, replying to it. I mean, just pretty vague. I'm giving more information, but everything I'm giving is nothing stepping on toes or anything. It's just trying to peel back enough of that curtain to make people understand that anybody can sue anybody. Like, I can simply, there's a guy that wrote a podcast, everything he put in there, there's no factual information on the writing part of it. And what I did was I simply I like the guy. He gets paid on clicks. So hopefully he made money on it, But if you're going to do those things, you have to make sure what you're doing is appropriate and it's factual information. A lot of the stuff that was even posted was not factual. There was no owner. There's just so much stuff that wasn't. So that all that stuff will be clarified in documentation that I will make public, probably through you guys on the show. I'll have some stuff that you guys can post. That'll be coming out soon. So it's just one of those where letting the court do the process and letting one guy look like a goofball. Because I can tell you, if you own a league and you're making remarks like that and doing things, other owners and other people are not going to appreciate that. That's all. That's all I can say. It's just, you're opening up Pandora's box and you're creating a lot of problems.
Has League HQ spoken with you? I'm not asking you for what they said, but has League HQ spoken with you and talked about?
Oh yeah.
It.
Oh yeah.
It.
Yeah. No. Yep. In depth. Yeah. So there's more of that's going to come out too in a good way. So always things happen for a reason, and if you do things right, it's always it seems that there's something odd that good can come out of this, but there's actually going to be a lot of good that will be announced that comes out of this.
Cool. So I think the number one question though that you're going to get from just fans in general is there risk that you guys won't see the end of the season?
No, there's not risk. There can't be. There's no risk because they had their chance by the court's rules. Okay. They had their chance before we started. They should have then at that point shut us down. If they felt there was anything that was a breach of trademark infringement, any of things of those nature, you can't let a season start and then try to shut us down before a home game. Right. So, and first of all, there's no merit to it. Like I could send you guys a letter and say, hey, I'm going to shut you down because Fan Zone Live offends me. And there's just no merit. You can't just make shit up. Mm-hmm. There's nothing there. There is nothing in there, not towards me. There's other people in there that could be at harm, but sure as hell isn't us. There's no harm. There's no harm, 0% harm of us. We're always going to finish the season. It's impossible.
There you go.
There you go.
Like that's like I said, the biggest concern. I mean, yeah, people talk about legal this, legal that, but ultimately they just care. Are we going to have a home game? Are we going to finish the season? That's all people care.
Right, and that's the biggest thing. And like I always say too, like all of our away games, when the heck was it, in January? I don't know when the heck it was. We paid for all of our away games. We paid for all the flight tickets, the bus fares. Everything's already paid for. Most of the salary, all the salaries have already paid up front. So those are paid for in a separate account. We have literally no bills left to pay for the team, other than like our home game expense, which would be like dancing, monkeys or whatever the heck Meadow's going to have going on. I have no clue. Riding unicycles, shooting people out of a cannon. I have no clue. Different cool stuff like that. Obviously, you got to pay for entertainment. So you're gonna have those costs. So the money that's already out there, we've paid way in advance. So I say that I'm financially solvent to make sure that we finish the season. If you follow that logic too, because I always say, don't poke the bear.
That's the kind of stuff we want to hear. We like that stability.
Yep.
You brought up.
Not to be rude.
No, this is good. You brought up Lemon. I got to know him when he was the coach and general manager for the Kansas City Phantoms. Prior to that, is with the Thunder, Oregon Thunder.
Yeah. Yep.
And great dude. When I saw you picked him up, I couldn't be happier. Absolutely love Coach Lemon.
Coach.
Stories. We quick kind of side note. I'm going to sidetrack us for a second here. I took him when we were in Kansas City. I took him to this sports bar restaurant museum place that they have in North Kansas City, and this building, the ceilings are covered with helmets hanging from the ceiling. The walls, everywhere you look, the bathrooms, everything's just sports memorabilia, head to toe. The guy walked me through that building and said, "Oh, this team right here, I knew these players from the the Negro Leagues team because my dad did some stuff with them. The guy's just got some just incredible stories and tons of history because of who he is, who his dad is. Just a wonderful dude. I was thrilled to see you picked him up.
No, he's been great, and it's sometimes I feel bad for him because he gets guy like Meadow has all that knowledge and that history, and then you get a young loose cannon like myself coming in there, and he's probably like, God, this guy, if you just slow down, if you just back up and see things from my view, and I can only imagine, Meadows. One hell of a guy, and he's 70, and I'm 39. So I can only imagine, like, it's because he sees things different than me, and I've learned a lot from him. There is no doubt I've learned so much from Meadow. I just know sometimes it's tough because I know when I'm saying stuff, he's looking at me like, boy, you're so wrong. And, but no, it's been a good relationship, and he's been a godsend for us here in Duluth with the Growing Pains, because you talked about his lineage and background, and it's a lot having a football team, and I'm always going to make mistakes, but he's seen it, he's lived it, and he's pulled me out of the fire on more than one occasion, and very blessed and thankful to have Meadow here. So it's been great.
So what's next for this franchise? I mean, obviously you got to get through the season, win as many as you can, but what's the future hold for the Monsters?
Man, the future hold. Yeah, that's a good question. Monsters future. Well, keep playing at Amsoil. I don't want to have to go back to the deck, even though I love the deck. But Amsoil, I want to make sure and sign a long contract to be at Amsoil for as long as possible. And I want to find a way for the Minnesota Monsters and in the AF1 to grow on a platform that allows, like, Minnesota Monsters, the organization itself, to find a way to, not to sound corny, but to give back the city of Duluth. City of Duluth can be kind of cyclical on its economy. It's a tourist town, so find a way for the Minnesota Monsters to be a way to be big enough to where it can bring in certain things to the city of Duluth. And so we want to be so self-sustaining that we can give back in a sense. We are called the Minnesota Monsters for branding because that's only going to help Duluth. We are in Duluth. We're going to be in Duluth. And our goal for Minnesota is to be like the Albany Firebirds, is to be a flagship team that can make the AF1 bigger. And if the AF1 gets bigger, we get bigger, right? TV production crews, certain things of that nature, ABC, NBC, ESPN deals. That's really my goals, are knowing that Minnesota, we've already done so well with the Monsters. In a short term, it's been 2 games, but it feels like it's been longer because you put so much work in. The goal is more for the AF1, because if the AF1 keeps growing like it is and it's so self-sustaining, then the Minnesota, by osmosis, we're going to get the residual effect from that. So if we can do everything with the AF1 to keep getting bigger and better, we're going to see that trickle, that it's going to matriculate to us. From there, it'll matriculate in the city of Duluth. So that's really, I have it all wrote out, because I'm a cornball that way, but that's how I believe it to be the case. Starts at the top, comes to us teams, and then we can just, push it out in the community.
You look about, and I just remembered this too, is that Duluth has a long time lineage with football, pro football specifically. And people need to remember Duluth at one point had an NFL franchise in the Duluth Eskimos. I mean, way back when.
Eskimos, that's right.
But obviously, as you said at the beginning, it's a hockey town, really. But how, based on what you just said, how do the Monsters need to make a name for themselves in the area? I mean, could you guys possibly lean on to your advantage that there has been an NFL pro team before in the past? There is a lineage for pro football in Duluth. Is it something that you want to be able to lean on so that you can make the name of the Monsters stick for years and years to come?
That's a good question. Even in that, I wouldn't say sales pitch, but our marketing pitches that we have, I've never even mentioned, like, we used to have an NFL franchise here at the Duluth Eskimos. And we should, because it obviously Duluth could sustain it.
I think we might have lost him.
We might have.
Yeah,
Right in the middle of a sentence, too.
I know. It just never fails.
Jacob!
Right? It's, what they've got going on up there. It is a weird mix, because they are coming from, even if this is a true expansion team.
And you get,
oh, there you go.
Oh, there. Can you hear me now?
Back.
Yes, you're
sorry, I'm back. No, that's a good question about the Duluth. Yeah, for Duluth Eskimo. Yeah, the marketing. Man, I don't see. I think it's almost like it's been such a long window from then to now. So it's something you can bring up. But as far as so much time has passed, so the marketing itself is just so different. I think as far as to leaning on that,
it's basically 100 years. People need to remember, almost 100 years since Duluth ceased to exist.
Right. And I think the biggest thing that the city of Duluth, because every city is different, and the city of Duluth, what it wants to see is sustainability. They want to make sure that if they want to invest, meaning like any kind of their marketing dollars, because everybody's got their quarterly amount that they want to spend. There's big businesses in Duluth. But at the same time, they don't want they want to make sure that, like I said earlier, it's a 3-year process. I mean, we have to make sure and show these bigger companies, that we're very sustainable, like your Minnesota Powers and other companies of that nature that are just a conglomeration that can stroke you a check that they feel is going to be their ROI, their return on investment is going to be there. But it's also money that we can use to operate, because you need operating expenses until you're making big money on your jersey sales and ticket sales. But all that's going to come over time. So it's just like that perfect storm that you're trying to wait out for that 3-year time. And but yeah, once you get over that 3-year hump, they're going to see that consistency and that you're there and what you're doing. And then that's when all that stuff, it's all going to click. But you got to ride that wave for 3 years. It's a good 3 to 4 years. Mm-hmm. That's what I see in Duluth. Great people. They're all polite to us, but they want to see, you got to prove it to them before they give you your marketing, their advertising dollars.
Yeah. Are you going to partner with UMD in the offseason?
We did. So I think I want to say we were going to work with them as far as like housing stuff, like almost like our summertime for like the dorms and stuff for players. But it's interesting with UMD, they come to our games, but there's really no partnership. Like the players will come to the games, support us, and vice versa. We'll watch their stuff. But I wouldn't say a partnership would be great, but that hasn't really materialized, any kind of partnership. And to be honest, I haven't really pushed a whole lot. Just because I know they have their financial dollars that they got to keep in line too. Because now with NIL, now that there's NIL, schools aren't, these institutions aren't, some of these schools are losing money because they got to pay that NIL. Have you seen this? So it's a big switch.
Well,
you're not going to be giving up money.
Partnering with like their communications department and some of their other school of business to just kind of get some interns in there to get them the experience, get you guys a little extra bodies.
That's correct. So from UMD, we just got 2 interns. I think one from St. Scholastica and then one from UWS, so University of Wisconsin Superior. So we're getting like interns. Yeah. So partnering that wise, we're getting some of their interns. But as far as anything beyond that, which if you can get interns from that sports management or any kind of accounting management department, we give them their hours and, maybe give them some per diem or something to really make it worth their while. So we've got a few that we've gotten out of it for that part of it.
Sometimes bartering works. You can't always barter, but sometimes bartering does work.
Oh, I'm a Wild West boy, so bartering's always a plus.
Jeff Pingle in chat. I'm gonna ask you this question, but also put a twist on it. It's perfect world. How many teams would you like to see in the league in 5 years? And then
that's funny.
I'm gonna tweak this a little bit and also say, in your perfect world, what teams would you like to have regardless of the league status, what would you like to see in the league, city-wise?
I would city-wise. So I would like. So in a perfect world, in 5 years, I would like to have. I would say 16 teams, because 16 would mean they're vetted, not just their own teams in that are going to come and go kind of deal. Yeah, if you did 5 years, if you kind of get loose on your vetting process, you could have 20 to 24. But I would say 16 is going to be, pretty good solvent owners that you vetted. Teams wise, I'll go by states. Arkansas, Missouri. Yeah, let's see here. Arkansas, Missouri, Florida, Arizona, Vegas. For right now, that's what I got. I'm just going off the top. I know team names. So
right.
Yeah.
Just cities. I mean, we asked Miguel the same question. He's
Marcus.
like, I'd like to see Vancouver get one. Like, makes sense. Why wouldn't you want one?
I'd say for when we talked originally with you, Jacob, when we're talking about, with me being Canadian, Winnipeg would be a great market for you guys because you're basically this close to each other,
Right
or
there.
even Thunder Bay, Ontario, because they're obviously in Canada. You have these places that have these smaller arenas. So Thunder Bay would be closer for you, harder to get to, but Winnipeg would be easier to get to.
With Thunder Bay, that's a pretty good market though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Winnipeg is too, but Thunder Bay,
It depends on the arena size. I'd have to look and see what it is for Thunder Bay. Obviously, with junior hockey in Canada, you have these arenas that fit perfectly.
For this. For arena, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, get in Jerry's ear. Tell Jerry Kurz, hey, Jerry, this is the way it's going to work, buddy. And tell Jerry, this is how we're going to do it.
Hey, it would be nice. I mean, considering where HTN is located, you never know, maybe the beginning.
See, you never know. That would be perfect. I'm really speaking to the HTN. I was very, very impressed with the broadcast here recently. I think no, it's been good. That's awesome. Right there. I'm gonna lean on Jerry now. I'm gonna give it to him. We had ownership call tomorrow. I'll give him a little push. See what he says.
I still need my St. Louis team now to move to the other side of the state. I need a St. Louis team. So
you think so? That'd be good. That's a good market.
Yeah, they support the Battlehawks.
Right?
I'll give them that. So I don't see why they wouldn't support Arena.
Yeah. Battle. That's the best. They
do have an arena in Thunder Bay. It's called the Fort Williams Gardens. It holds about 4,600 people. I don't know about the roof. Obviously, that's a huge thing. So, but they do have an arena. So, which fits into the size of what AF1 is looking at now. This isn't the days of
15, 17,000 seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what the heck was it? The Milwaukee Mustangs, when Gary Compton played there, they would sell it out. What did that hold? 14,000 people or something? And they were like 0-14, and he said they would sell out every game.
Oh yeah, Kansas City. We had a horrible team our first year, and we had 15,000 a game.
Isn't that nuts?
Deal.
Well, Colorado Crush. Obviously, it was the Elway factor, but they were also a dominant franchise too, and they sold out. They actually had a game, Jacob, I can't remember what year, where there was a driving snowstorm for an NBC game, and still 5,000 people showed up. They were tailgating outside in the snow before the game and still showed up for the game. So it was about 5,000 people showed up for that game in Colorado.
Really?
Club Crush was no joke. Their fan club managed to do some really good things out there. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm here today is because of Club Crush. So,
And this was Denver. We're not talking it's not Fort Collins or anything like that. This is Denver proper. So,
ain't that something?
But again, things need to change, things get with the times, and it's, I have no problem with the way the league's going with these smaller arenas. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, I think right now I think Albany's the biggest. That's funny to say. No. How big's the one over in Salem? That's a big arena too.
Oh, isn't
Everett?
Sorry, Everett. Yeah.
See, Albany's a good. Is it? I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure
12,
what.
12 to 14 when they open up the upper deck.
Yeah.
Oof. No, that's got to be the biggest then when that's what it is. Because you're right. Because they had that closed off with that. You're right. So Albany would have to be the biggest. Yeah, you're right. They did have it closed off. Yeah.
So it's a different game. You know, that's just kind of how the game's evolved. You know, we talked about earlier, you know, it started no walls and it's got rid of the Iron Man. And, you know, now it's just downsizing. And honestly, it makes more sense than to be putting 4,000 people in a 19,000 seat arena. Like why would you do that? Why would you spend that much?
Well, that's what the UFL just did. They just went to, remember they were in NFL stadiums. They downsized to soccer stadium. Was it soccer? Yeah.
A lot of them going to soccer. Yeah.
Yep. They did the same thing. I mean, and it's smart because then the biggest thing, venue is going to be less expensive. So then the nut you gotta crack is less. So then you're not financially, strained just to open the doors. A lot of reasons, because there's got to be a version of profit or a reason or when they're going to make a profit in order for it to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Even I'm trying to think about it. Winnipeg, as an example, that's the smallest arena in the NHL. They hold just over 11 at capacity, and that's for a hockey setup.
Well, now that Arizona doesn't have their team anymore, anyway.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I forgot they're playing. Yeah, but I'm saying if it would fit in many major markets, I think that they would fit, especially with these days where you have either an AHL team, an ECHL team. There's usually, outside of the city center, they would be a smaller arena. Montreal is a good example too. We may have the Bell Center, which is the largest in the NHL, but we have one just on the north shore of Montreal, an arena that holds 11. Where
I can't say the same way.
Where their AHL team plays.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Kansas
doable.
City the same way. You got the big T-Mobile Center holds 19,000, and out in Independence, Missouri, you've got actually literally the identical arena to Dodge City. It's a cookie cutter arena, the exact same deal. So
interesting.
Yeah. There's lots of options out there when you start digging into some maybe not the top tier venue in town kind of thing.
But it's all about ownership, as we've taken before. As Jacob will attest to, I'm sure. It's about vetting the owners that are going to be around for more than 3 to 5 years.
Correct. Oh, there's no doubt. And like I said, the biggest one that I've learned more and more about is Michigan Arsenal. Their setup, their venue, I think that's going to be, we had this conversation in, 2-3 years. They're going to be close to a flagship team. I just can't say good enough things about them. Just seeing their setup and what their goals are too. I can't wait to see, just like I said, even next year probably, but how quick they're picking up on stuff. That's going to be a venue that's only going to keep getting stronger. That'll be a good flagship team in the league.
So with going to Albany and then up at Saginaw, did you pick up on things that you're going to bring into your first home game in a couple weeks?
Sadly, I mean, yes and no, but the part is I was always in the bench area. So I'm in the bench area and I'm more so in tune to the game, which is bad ownership on my part. I should be more, in tune to seeing what's, the venues and what the staff is doing and everything. But I just get so enthralled with the games that's what I mainly want to do, is that I want to watch the games, talk to the players, and kind of be like I have a headset on the bench. So like, I just want to be involved that way. But I do have my player personnel and another assistant that goes with, and they do ask questions and they follow everybody around for like ticketing stuff, and they're kind of seeing how they do things. And Willem Nelson, young player, director of player personnel, one hell of a kid. He comes with on every road game and asks so many questions to everybody, especially at Albany. Obviously, they're now in for the Arsenal game, and he learned a lot. And so we debrief on the ride back, or we debrief when we get back into the office. And the amount of stuff, he's always got a notebook and taking notes. So he has been learning a lot more than me. And so when we go over stuff, he's kind of running stuff by me on what they do, like the play clocks and how they do their ticketing, how they do their VIP badges, things that he's picking up. And so to both of them, they do one heck of a job, but we have a lot to keep up with if we go off of Albany, Michigan, Arsenal, because I've been very impressed with those two venues so far.
That's I've got to ask too. That I was at the Cats game last weekend, and very surprised at the end they didn't allow field access. I don't know if they had something going on. They had to cut things short. Are fans going to be allowed on the field with you guys after the game?
Yeah. Oh, yep, for sure. I wonder, but to their defense though, there could be something in some of these stadium contracts. So when they were probably, because they're in Clarksville now, right?
Yeah, well, and that's just it. They did last year, so I was kind of shocked.
Well, they were.
My 6-year-old's a little shocked too, which is a hard.
Yeah, I was just say right. So in their defense, you get these venue contracts, and they'll have it on there where, hey, we won't allow fans on the field because of an insurance stipulation. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of times that's the case. Oh, they were? Okay. So a lot of it's a venue thing. And that's one thing that after maybe a year of being there, they can rewrite that part in their lease. I don't know if they did a 3 or 5 year lease, whatever it may be. But that would be my thought, is that's the biggest part of it, is that it's probably in the lease that they have in their building restrictions.
Yeah, definitely difficult when you're not expecting it, especially when you got kids that aren't expecting it. They're thinking, I'm going to go run the field. No, well, not today, kid.
Not today. No, that is unfortunate, but that would be the heck. I would want to run the field, get Kulka's autograph. I do have his autograph though. So we're clear.
Which one? Well, you got to get the other one now.
Yeah, that's correct. I got to get the other one. I did. So we do have the capability of ordering fan replica jerseys. So I'm going to get my Kulka jersey. Got to get that hung up along with my Javonte Johnson jersey in my office. I'm a quarterback guy. Got to love Kulka, baby. Wouldn't that be? I couldn't. Javonte would beat the hell out of me. I can't do that. If I had half and half, he would beat the tar out. I can't do that. I would have to have one of each. No, it's fun watching Kulka. Javonte and I watch him all the time. That kid is unreal. And his brother, I mean, he tore us up. His brother's gonna be a great CFL. I think he'll get some NFL looks because of his size. But boy, is that kid sharp. Ooh, his brother Josh, holy shit. Watch that kid. When we watching him firsthand, you could hit him and nothing phased him. You couldn't rattle him. You'd think after a safety and a couple smacks, it would never rattled. You could see it in his eyes, nothing. Stone cold killer, just like his brother. So that kid's he's got a high ceiling too. It's fun watching him week 1.
And that's on a short week too. His debut game in arena, short week after that, he's going to be QB1. Mm-hmm. And he was able to do what he did. I mean, obviously we saw what happened in Kentucky too. Their guy also did the same thing too, and he won MVP. We should get the two Kulka ones. I should reach out to Dustin over at Royal Retros and see if he could do a half for the Kulkas. I think that would be cool.
You should. It would be, because that's something like the AF1. Honestly, you got to market the heck out of that. I mean, because it's a huge story. It's a good thing. I mean, they're both top quarterbacks, and you got to market the heck out of that thing. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I would.
Yep.
Yeah, going to your quarterback, I was surprised in week 1. I expected Javonte to run a lot more, especially coming from TAL. Week 1, I just expected him to, if he got in a little trouble, just to take off running. I didn't quite see that happen, but then you guys did have a little bit more of a running game this week.
Yeah.
Is he trying to stay in the pocket more, or is that by design?
That's right. Yeah, that's probably my fault. I don't want him getting hurt. I mean, he's the investment, you know. He's so competitive. He's a gunslinger by nature, and he's just a soldier. So he's going to get out there and he's going to think he's Shannon Brooks. And he's going to lower his shoulder. And it's, you know, you get a quarterback and they all know we built around him. So you get him out of the pocket. Them boys are going to be hungry. And that's the last couple good pops into the wall. And before you know it, you're not that Tyreek Stark's your backup. It's one hell of a kid. He's, you know, dang good, but 24 years old, hasn't been in the arena football world, and it's timing and it's different. That takes a year or two, right, to get that down. So it's not a knock on Tyreek at all, but just Javonte, 7 championships in, you know, indoor and arena football, and the pedigree, it speaks for itself. And well, week 1, the biggest thing was he wanted to prove so much to everybody he belonged here, right? Because he just had his shots or opportunities, but not his shot, right? So he was on a roster, maybe didn't get to play, and he wanted to literally come out week 1, and he was hell bent on going downfield. You couldn't tell him any different, and he said, "I'm here to show you who I am. I'm going to hold on to the ball," and he was getting smacked. He didn't care, and you weren't going to tell me the kid is just all heart, and he didn't want to run the ball because he goes, "No, I'm going to throw touchdowns. I'm going to put the ball down the field." And you can't, if you live and die by the arm, right? You live and die by the gun. That's just how we are with Javonte, and that's what he was doing. But this last weekend, you know, he took those checkdowns. You notice that he took those shorter passes, and he didn't have to try and take the top off. He said, "Screw it." He did the one long one to LD, Ladarius down to the 1 yard line. He did that one big shot. Then after that, he just didn't see it opening up, and he just stink and dunked it down the field, took his shots when he had to. That's what you're going to see more of out of Javonte. I told him, I said, "You have nothing to prove to anybody. Stats are going to come, and the wins are just going to keep piling up." And that was the biggest thing. He was just too pumped up for week 1.
Well, the arena football single game rushing record is held by a quarterback. So,
Did you see him wiggling around though when he got that touchdown? Boy, he shot out of there like a grease turd. That boy, he took off and he said, "I'm getting this tutty." Yeah, I was shocked. It was a good little squirm though. It's amazing. He used to be, he was a true dual threat, like he is, but he used to be he was more of a run first quarterback than pass. And then he said, "I'm staying in the pocket because I'm going to show people I can pass." And that changed over the last 3-4 years, I guess, before I got to know him. So he was more of a true dual threat where he'd run first, then pass.
And that's kind of what I was expecting on week 1, and I was surprised to not see that. So that kind of makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah, this boy he was hungry. He wanted to get those big shots down the field.
Tom Stalker in chat says, no one's running the ball. Leading rusher has 87 yards. That's not uncommon in arena football. Like that's just how it works, you know.
So yeah, that's how it works.
And a lot of that comes from the linebacker. Yeah, the linebacker restrictions. You got the jack linebacker that can only go wall to wall, can only go 5 yards deep. It's a spy for any rush. That jack linebacker is ready to go for it. You got the Mac that has to rush. I mean,
well, do you see though? We had Shannon Brooks had 2 rushing touchdowns. He has 3 on the year. He had 2. I look more for not necessarily the yards, but the touchdowns in arena for rushing. So Shannon's got 3 rushing touchdowns on the year. My other guy, Travis Whitlock, our backup fullback, he had 1. And Javonte's got 2 rushing or 1 rushing touchdown in the year, I think. Yeah. So what's that? What did I just say? 5? Is that 5 touchdowns rushing so far in 2 games?
Yeah.
I sound right?
Solid.
It's not bad.
Solid. Yeah. The other thing is, we mentioned the jack linebacker a second ago. You guys taught Josh Kolka a very important lesson, and that's the lesson about the jack linebackers. You got that pick 6 on him, and that kind of snapped him into his game. Once that happened, it's like, oh, wait a minute, there's that guy I got to keep track of. And then he went,
well, he did. No, he did, because he's so cerebral and smart. We did it the one time, and that was it. That's how you know when that kid's going to be special, is because you do something once and he just that quick and he learned from it. And after that, it was just dissection. Yeah, he learned real fast. It wasn't like an all game thing that took him to learn. It was just the one situation. That's for sure.
That Jack linebacker, I think, is just an underutilized position across arena football, and always has been. You get the right guy in there that can predict passing lanes, get in the way. That's a pick six every time. It's can be one of the most deadly positions if you got the right guy.
Yep. Well, long and lean. I mean, you got to have. LeBaron Mallory's coming back, so he's been out now for 2 weeks. MCL sprain, so you guys will be shocked. You're going to be impressed. LeBaron played a little bit when it was Corpus Christi was there. He played in the CIFL. He played for the Raiders for half a preseason. So he's got a pedigree. But with an MCL sprain, we don't want to rush it back. So you're going to see a difference in Jack. He's long, he's 6'3.5", 6'4", and he can run, he can hit. He wants to hit first, but he can move. But that'll be your shockers just to see what he can do with that length at Jack.
So we've been rolling for a hot minute on this one. And I always enjoy talking to you. Do this all night long, but I don't want to keep you too long. Do you
It's okay. You guys can let me be. I like chatting with you guys.
Oh yeah. And we definitely need to have you on again as the season goes on. But what do you want?
I only do your guys' show. That's it.
See, that's all the more reason to have you on. So.
Yeah, I know, right?
But what would you like to tell, fans of the Monsters, but fans of the league in general? What message do you want to get out there? What'd say is kind of your core?
I'd like to more talk about the league and then us, because the biggest thing is, and when we have our ownership meetings, like when we go to New York, then we were in Chicago too, is if the league is doing good, the teams are doing good. So I want everyone, if you're a fan of Arena, I want you to watch all teams. You've heard me talk about your Tyler Kulka, Jordan Kulka. You've heard me talk about these other guys. Even like you go to like Washington. I like JR, the coach there. They've had a tough stretch here these last 2 games, but if anybody's going to pull through, it's him. Be a fan of other teams and players. Find your why to watch these other teams. Learn the game of Arena. These teams are great. A lot of good coaches, a lot of great owners, a lot of great players. They're not making $10 million a year. So for that reason, to play through that sprain or that injury is to have people reach out to them and care. Like I talked to Tyler Kulka quite a bit. Reach out and bullshit with these guys so that they know they got an actual real fan and they're not just crash test dummies bouncing off the wall 50-yard field, right? So my message to fans is watch Arena, watch AF1, watch these teams that are out there, watch this growth that we're going through, watch these new teams coming in, and then obviously after recent events, you never know what's going to happen with other teams coming in. You're going to see a plethora of things changing, evolving for the good for the AF1. The future is so bright, and so I don't necessarily want to talk on us because we're going to make our market. The team's got to make their market. So I want you to be a fan of AF1, obviously be a fan of us, but even our fans, like they watch multiple games. So when they're watching our games, they'll be watching another one, or they watch all the games in the AF1 because they want to see who we're playing next. Be a fan of AF1 and then be a fan of ours. The league keeps growing, then we're only going to grow too. It matriculates, like I've said more than once, it'll matriculate down to us. So be a fan of AF1. It's my biggest thing to the people is watch AF1, watch it on your YouTube, make sure we're getting these views, because if we're getting these views, we're going to be on a bigger platform for all of the fans, and which benefits them, benefits us. So that's all. I mean, that's pretty much my biggest message I have for the fans of AF1 and Minnesota Monsters.
I don't think I can say that any better. So
no, I get pumped. I'm adamant. I'm very big on, I love the AF1. The way they've treated us and my team and coaches. And I love Jason Capona, the head ref. Well, I love that freaking wild Italian. He, one heck of a guy. Him and I are really close, and he's hard on our team, and that's the way I want it. and we get more penalties on us. He holds us to a higher standard. It just a lot of good people in this league that are watching it grow or helping it grow. Pardon me. And yeah, it starts with the refs, starts with your Jerry's, Gary's, and Christie's, and yeah, it's been great.
It's awesome. Well, like I said, I love to hear that that's somebody new coming in the league. That's been their experience. And in the past, we have had a lot of ownership that's been, my team's the only team that matters. I don't care what happens in the league. My team's the only team that matters. And it's destructive.
No. Oof.
So,
it'll blow up and it'll get you because you got to share your ideas and help out, because you got to help out other teams. If there's something they need, you help them in so many ways. Yeah, like you get teams like Oregon, like poor Chuck. That guy, I think he's the chef too. He drives the bus, he cooks for the guys, and the guy's got all heart. And any way we can help him, the league and myself, whatever we got to do, we want to help him. And guys like Chuck, if we all had that, if we all had his heart, look where we'd be, right? That guy busts his ass. Yeah. And more power to him. Love the guy. Don't talk to him a whole lot. I just see it through his social media and the way he carries himself, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah, speaking of the Oregon Lightning, we did make a post earlier this week or last week that the Oregon Lightning has an additional set of turf they are looking to sell. So if there's anybody out there wanting to buy a set of turf, head over to our socials. You'll see the picture and contact Coach Jones. He's looking to get rid of it. So a little extra plug in there for him. So
nice. I like it. Yeah, throw it in there. I love it.
But no, thank you so much for coming on. It's always, like I said, a good time talking with you, and appreciate you, letting us, coming onto our show. I mean, I know you don't, like you said, you don't go on to too many other places. So it means a lot that you come on with us.
No, I love our pregame talks or pre-show talks. So I love to catch up with you guys. And I, like I said, so damn thankful you guys are doing what you're doing for the AF1 and spreading the good word. And yeah, I'll see you guys. What, June you said?
Yeah, I'll see you was at the Cats game, I believe. When you're out to see the Cats, I'll see you down there for that game. But
all right.
Yeah, until then,
thank you so much again. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Perfect. And, thank you guys.
We'll be catching up with you. Keep winning. We'll be catching up with you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, that's just another one of those guys that I could go on with for hours.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. And I think one of the things that we've seen with all the owners that we've spoken with, things have changed in the HQ. They're able to promote stuff, tease stuff. That's the good portion about it. You don't have things aren't, they're keeping things close to the vest, which is good.
But they also, like I said before, we've had owners in the past that are me.
That's true.
And it caused problems. I don't get the sense that that's happening. That's not the culture of the league at this point. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I get the sense that that's not how things are working this time around.
No, I agree with you 100%. 100%.
So, well, let's get on to what all's been going on. Last week's games.
Yeah, I know. Jacob was talking about coaching Washington, but yeah,
he's a good dude. I mean, without a doubt, like you said, he's a great guy.
They're not scoring. Yeah, but you can still be a great guy, but not be it's something. Mm-hmm. This is what, the fourth time already this year. The fourth time in the last 2 years they have scored less than 10 points in a single game.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if you go less than 20, it's like 6 or 7 games now. It's
something has to be done.
Yeah, Washington's got to fix. And even at the game, there was nothing I could pinpoint that, they need X. This would change everything for them. Like,
maybe it's
different.
Trouble. Maybe some people were saying Rob Keefe. I don't know if Rob Keefe can make the change. But the problem is, and I mentioned this to you in our chat, is that rarely in arena football do you have a team make a change during the regular season. It's happened, but rarely does it happen.
And I think JR's also the GM there too. So it does
stay as the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Stay as the GM. Let's bring somebody else in. They've got to
So,
do something.
And it's funny because that Cats game, both. I mean, Washington looks flat because Washington looks flat. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
The Cats looked flat, especially the first half.
That was despite the 48 points, Kolka did not look like he had not been eating his vitamins or saying his prayers.
Well, but to be fair, there's a very good reason for that.
Oh yeah.
The Monday before the game, he had his first son, and he didn't get back to practicing with the team until Wednesday. So, honestly, if you're going to have a week you're going to be distracted and things are going to come up, and again, no fault of him. I wouldn't have faulted him if he took the week off. This is the week you want to have it happen. Like it's the perfect opponent for this for an off week. And even talking to Tyler afterwards, he's like, it wasn't 100% there, and a little rusty, but again, super short week for him.
Still 48 points,
and still 48 points. You don't have to do much when the other team only scores 3 too. So you can kind of take your foot off the gas a little.
Battle of the multiple times this year, but this is the battle of the expansion clubs. Minnesota comes away with their first win, arena win,
dominating win.
It just, I love what they're doing in Michigan. The field was absolutely stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Malik Henry? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just another one of those teams where I don't know what that piece is they're missing. There's something missing, and I don't think it's coaching.
To be fair, these first 2 games this week both started off identically at 19-0.
Well, and a touchdown and safety.
Sorry, 16-0. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, right there, that's something.
Yeah, like I said, the Michigan Minnesota game is the one that surprised me the most this weekend. I mean, I thought Michigan had it. They had 2 very, very hard games. They played them incredibly hard, despite what the final score. It really told me just how much Minnesota turned it around. Yeah, there are a couple of things. Albany is Albany.
13 straight regular season wins now. Just they're coming up on the modern day arena football record for most games in a row in the regular season.
Oregon's got to beat somebody besides Washington.
Yeah,
let us know who they are. And again, Albany's a tough go. I mean, if you
it was close for a while, but I think it was a game of 2 halves, as we've seen when it comes to Albany. On the road, they're lethargic in the first half, but then the second half, watch out.
Yeah, how many times where you've been at halftime and go, wow, this team's got Albany on the ropes. They might be able to pull it off. And in the third quarter, Albany just pulls away.
Yeah.
Like all last year, they did that. And so far, they've done it again this year. So they're a second half team. That's just what they are. But this Oregon team.
We'll see.
Oregon team's got Washington, started with Washington, then went to Albany. Now they've got Michigan up next, which could get interesting. Then they have the Cats after that. So they're just talk about a roller coaster of a open for this Oregon team.
Probably the best game of the week, Oceanside and Beaumont. I mean, I don't
didn't see that coming either.
What does that show, though? I mean, obviously these 2 teams are middle tier in the standings, but
it's the second time
is Oceanside weary? You know what I mean? West Coast, again, traveling east. Beaumont looked good. They both looked good.
So 55 for a losing team isn't bad.
It wasn't an HTN broadcast, but still looked damn good.
Thankfully.
And
great job on their part.
Yeah, back and forth, I mean, ballsy to start off the game with an onside kick.
I haven't seen that in a while.
And then constantly going for 2-point converts. It made me wonder, well, why aren't they using their kicker? But
And Oceanside's kicker, so the flip side of the Oceanside's kicker was 7 for 7.
I know.
He was dead on his extra points. I think
it was a good game. That was. It
was. I don't think these two teams are anything nothing to write home about. But I see both these teams getting better as the season goes on.
Well, Oceanside, I think, is heading home this week. So, they finally get some home cooking again.
Home game against Minnesota. So,
yeah.
And that's just it. There's also the second time these teams have met each other, in 3 weeks into the season.
Yeah. Bad clock management too for Oceanside at the end of the game.
Real bad. That's something they definitely need to pick up. Tom Stalker asking, Oceanside sharing front weaver. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Totally unique situation.
Two different sets of turf. Two different types of indoor arena football. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was definitely some bad clock management in that game. Again, that's part of the learning curve of coaching in this league.
Mm-hmm.
The timing rules, all that. That's just how it works. So,
well, I think really what did it was Oceanside not scoring at the end of the first half because they weren't getting the ball to kick off the second half. I think a lot of people got that.
Wasn't that, I have to remind me because I was on the road for watching this game.
It was a fourth down. It was like a 4th and goal.
It was like a fourth, or when was it? They had the second down at the end of one of the halves. Passing complete, ran out of time with 2 timeouts in their pocket.
That was second half.
That was second half. Yeah.
I think that was second half. Yeah.
That just a huge missed opportunity. There's no reason to let the clock burn down. We got 2 timeouts right there.
Uh-huh. But everybody needs to understand it could have been momentum if Oceanside had been able to score at the end of the first half.
Mm-hmm. So, but again, that's just the learning curve of this game. It is different.
And obviously, the league will be announcing this, and we'll be mentioning it on Fan Zone offline. Is that the Beaumont quarterback got MVP?
Yeah, I mean, and he deserved it. It's like big numbers. So, good on them. Like I said,
is it the first 300 game of the year?
I think so. Yeah, I think like a 280.
Just over, at 302.
Mm-hmm. But as you know, we gave Beaumont a real hard time after their first home game with the phone set up in the corner for their broadcast. They still have a couple things they need to work out, but the production was very good this weekend.
It was damn good. Yeah, I think just HTN just needs to get in there and
get the camera set up.
We'll see what happens this week in Oceanside. It'll be their first HTN broadcast also.
From what I understand, it's supposed to be. We'll see if they were able to get everything set up the right way. But like I said, we got to give them credit. They made some major changes, and that's what we asked for. And they did it, and it was a good broadcast. So, good on them for making things right.
Yeah, for sure.
This week, a couple interesting matchups.
Yeah, but again, to me, it's another bad matchup for Vice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Albany and Washington. Not. That's going to be a rough game to have on Vice for the second week in a row.
Unless something drastically changes in Washington.
Even if it does, I mean, like, I don't know how drastic something could change to make that a good matchup. I mean, that's, and I feel bad. I don't want Washington to be a punching bag. It's good ownership.
Something has to be done.
Great branding, but they've got to get some stuff fixed on the field.
Michigan, Oregon. I think with the travel, I would be surprised if Michigan finally can get off the snide and they get their first franchise win.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important game for both those teams. I mean, yes, Oregon has a win, but again, you talk quality wins, it was against Washington. So let's still held Washington no offensive touchdowns. So that's again something to be said. But important game for both those teams just to get some real momentum.
And game of the week, Nashville, Kentucky coming off of a bye.
Oh, I'm gonna be there. I can't wait for this game. I've had this circled for a while now.
That should be a good game. On TV, man. It's watch it on HTN, watch it on YouTube, watch it on the AF1.com. However you're gonna watch it, that's gonna be the game of the week for sure. For sure.
I mean, what's Shea Spencer gonna have coming up against Nashville?
I don't know, man. Spencer and Kulka, that'd be pretty good.
Like I said, I've had that game circled. I can't get to Cincinnati fast enough. Like that's going to be just a killer game. So
and I think Minnesota Oceanside can end up being pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
I would put that as the number 2 game of the week.
Yeah, 100%. Like honestly, before last week, and I go whatever, Minnesota Oceanside, it's going to be whatever. After seeing last week's games, I'm looking at that game going, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like that just Minnesota's big win. Oceanside didn't win, but they still scored a ton of points in a loss.
Mm-hmm.
That one could be fun. That one could be one of those sleeper historic game kind of things.
Yeah. And let's get Oceanside with the helmet logo, please.
You know what? Maybe they're just doing the Cleveland Browns thing and just
oh God, no. They got everything else in the back, but I'm curious to see what their branding is. We were talking about branding before with Jacob and the Monsters. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. That's the thing. Dude,
well, they didn't have
it can't be
walls.
as bad. And you know what? I have to bring this up because to me, I know we were joking off air earlier about seeing a player in one of the indoor leagues wearing an ankle bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I sent everybody the picture. It's just so wrong. Is such a storied franchise as the Jacksonville Sharks having an ad on their helmets on one side of the helmet. And I'm not opposed to them, but having 4 advertising patches on their uniforms, I get why. But you don't screw with football and put a giant helmet for a healthcare thing on the side.
Put it along the back.
It depends on how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do, remember, in Europe, for European football, they do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I kind of split on that one. It's like, it bothers me to see that, but at the same time, if it's going to make these teams more financially viable, I'll take whatever you throw at.
I'm curious to know what they got for something like that, because I don't think I've ever seen an ad like that prominently on the side of one helmet. Not
in a top tier league, anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, was it Chico's bail bonds with the?
I'd hate to buy that mini helmet.
Right. Yeah, like so. What was the Bad News Bears? Like Chico's bail bonds.
That's minor league. That's
little league.
It's little league. So that makes sense.
So it is what it is. If it makes them more stable, then so be it. Coach O'Neill puts out here, if you missed the first half of the show, can it be replayed? Easiest place would be our YouTube channel.
The archive is there.
AF1 Fan Zone. You go to the live tab, it'll be there. Otherwise, I'll have it up on our website. Oh, maybe tomorrow. Maybe as soon as tomorrow or the next day, just depending on what my schedule looks like.
I know Scott's going to be putting out a clip. Something tonight, very clip worthy. Very.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one. Also, we are also on Spotify, so I get these up within a day or two up on Spotify, full video and everything as well. So
I forgot about video on Spotify. Yeah,
you can also pull it up there. So, and then if you can't get enough of us, there's always halftime.
I was about to say, I wanted to talk about that real quickly. And no, we're not trying to toot our own horns. We knew nothing of this. The crew the crew at HTN have given us this opportunity to do the halftime show, and Scott and I, it's, you know, we're long form type of guys. We can just talk, and trying to get this down into a couple of segments has been challenging, but we're getting the hang of it. But we did not see it coming with us being on the national broadcast. We had no clue.
Yeah.
None of our contacts. Oh, by the way, where'd that come from? We even got a shout out from the guys in
Oregon, wasn't it?
Oregon.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We got some stuff coming up.
So yeah, apparently if HTN is the producing company, there's a good chance you'll see us out there. So if you can't get enough of us, just wait till halftime. We'll probably be there.
Yeah, if it's an HTN broadcast, yeah, because we weren't on the Beaumont one because that wasn't officially an HTN broadcast.
So lots of exciting stuff. Hoping to get more information on this fan council. Nashville announced their two representatives last week. I haven't heard if the other teams did. So that's kind of an exciting opportunity for some folks. I was on the fan council back in the 2.0 AFL 2.0.
I remember.
I was part of that fan council. A cool experience. Got to work with a lot of really neat fans, and got a tour of the Cleveland Arena at the Arena Bowl that year.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it was a cool experience for sure, and I'm excited for those folks that got to be part of the council this year. And again, I'm assuming people know. If they don't know, the announcement should be coming real soon. But that's actually one of the things I meant to ask the commissioner when we had him on, and we just kind of ran out of time. So
yeah,
but
Stay
energy
tuned.
right now. Yeah, good energy right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the league. Are there things to fix? Absolutely. There always are, and there always will be. I like hearing from Jacob today. He's 100% confident that he will be here all season and for seasons to come.
Mm-hmm.
The legal issues ultimately big nothing burger.
Yeah.
So
if you missed any part of it, head to the archive, listen to the show.
Yep. So I think, like I said, we've been going a long time tonight. Like I said, we get good guests that like talking this game. We tend to go on. So
So if you missed this, like I said, go back and watch it. If you want to see our mugs this week, stay tuned for for Fan Zone Offline. We'll see you at halftime.
So until next week, we got some big guests lined up in the works. We've got some cool ideas coming up for the show. So just stay tuned, follow our socials, like those, follow the events when the Facebook events go up. So, when we go live, same thing with YouTube. You guys know how that stuff works, but,
exactly. And by the way, and finally, again, happy anniversary, happy 40th anniversary Arena Football. Thank you, Jim Foster.
Yep. I think that says enough. Thank you, Jim. And until next time, it's been great. Take care.